Hello and welcome to the chaos. This is going to be another market update video. I had another double market this past weekend. Again, not intentionally doubled up, but I did it. I did a market in a part of Mississippi I've never actually done a market in before, and then I did a market in my local hometown again. The one that I had not ever been to before was about a half hour away, not too bad. And it was a barnyard market, open air, like out in a big field. And there were quite a few vendors there. I felt like it would be a really good event, but it was just hot. It was like 90 degrees and there was no wind, and sun was just beating down on everybody, and I think it was just not a good day for people to be outside. So at that one I actually only sold enough to cover my booth fees. I just didn't do very well. I think I will give it one more try, maybe in the fall. I know they do monthly events in the fall as well. They're doing one next month in June, but it's the same day as a big blueberry festival in that same town, and I feel like they won't get any foot traffic. So I probably will not do that one, but maybe I'll go back in the fall. And then I kind of last minute was able to get into the one that's more local to me. That one was their first event. It was a tiny little coffee shop. We're in a tiny town, teeny tiny town. We have just recently had our county switch over to no longer being a dry county. So we have just recently started being able to sell and serve liquor in restaurants and things around here. So the little coffee shop in town has been on the weekend nights running old speakeasy and serving cocktails and things. And it's just a tiny little shop. It's super cute. And they decided to do what they called an art walk, and they had local artists and local vendors show up. So there was a guy doing a forge demonstration. He was forging knives, which was super cool, and a glass blowing guy, and somebody with a bunch of stained glass decorative pieces. There's somebody with a lot of woodworking, very very beautiful things. The girl that sat up right next to me, it was her first time doing anything, and she had all these like dangling, I don't know if they were wind chimes or if they were just supposed to be like indoor decorative, but it was like strings of beads dangling from like driftwood, and I actually bought a bookmark from her. Let me grab it. I have it in the book that I'm currently reading, but it says Farah Darling, but it's these glass beads on wire, and then the bookmark itself is this metal hook. And just like all the things she made were super cute. She had like jewelry, she had like these wire things that you would wear over your ear to make it look like you had an elf ear. And she was super sweet too. And I think she did really well, which I'm very pleased for her first market, that she did so well. I was very excited for her. So but anyway, so that one I did a lot better. It was also nicer that it was nighttime. It was like from 5 to 9, so the sun had started to go down. It had cooled off a good bit. There was a little bit of a breeze coming through. It was much more pleasant, and of course, everybody that was coming through was coming in to get cocktails and have fun, and they sat down and chatted, and it was very relaxed, and it was just a really fun little atmosphere, and I would love to do it again. Hold on while I sip some coffee. So, ignoring the first market of the day, we're just going to go over the night market. I'm going to let you know what I sold, what did best, what didn't sell at all, but that doesn't necessarily mean it won't sell another one, and just have a little chat with y'all. So, first off, my big items. My dandelion is still hanging around. Oh, you know what? I just realized I left my closet door open again. Hold on. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, it's chaos around here, so this is just what you get when you come to my channel. My father-in-law is over today as well, and he and my husband are wandering around the backyard doing who knows what. They've been working on building a new room onto our house for the past year or so. The room is done, but they're still doing these little bits and extras on the outside of it. I don't even know what they're doing, but they're having a good time, so they can do it. But I'm in my bedroom in front of the window that faces into the backyard, so I keep seeing them wandering past from time to time. So if you see my eyes drift, that's all that is. I'm just being distracted. Okay, so my big dandelion, he's still hanging around. He hadn't gone anywhere yet. Blythe the unicorn, I've only made one of that pattern, and I've still just been hanging on to it. I know a lot of other makers have sold her really well. And maybe I need to really promote her on my Etsy site. Maybe she'll do better there. My big mushroom sold last weekend at the market. I've had him since Valentine's Day. He had like heart-shaped spots on his cap, so he finally sold. I was glad that he found his home. Sorry, yeah. It's early for me. I don't normally get up this early because I stay up really late and my voice is doing weird things. Okay. Okay, so Easter Peep, my big marshmallow peep, still hanging around. He may hang around till next Easter. Who knows? We'll see. Fruit octopus. I sold the strawberry octopus, the one that I made the pattern for. So he has sold. The pattern for that is still up on my Etsy. So if anybody wants to try to make him, he's really easy. He's big, you know, because I use the blanket yarn, and he's a big, you know. I don't know if I have the other one, but I mean, he's like this big around. You've seen him in my TikTok and stuff, I'm sure. But he's really easy and fast. He's under an hour to make. And I made a blueberry one using the same pattern, and just instead of doing the strawberry leaf cap, I did a little blueberry cap on top of that. So if you want to check out my Etsy page, I think I've recently discounted several things on there, so I think I brought it down to like $2.50, something like that. But yeah, you guys can grab that pattern and you can make that yourselves. I had 2 cows that I made by using Katie Bean Creatives pattern that I sold one of. It was the strawberry cow. So I still have the little blueberry cow. Now, I altered her pattern a little bit to make these. She has the basic cow pattern, where it just looks like a cow, basically. And then when I did the horns for the strawberry and the blueberry cow, I made them look like little fruits and then put that on their heads. And then I also just freehanded a little pouch that looked like their fruit, which is just, I made the fruit, and then when I got to the end, I made a long chain to go around and reattached it to the other side. And that's all it is to make a little fruit pouch. It's super simple. So the strawberry cow sold. I still have blueberry. I brought 2 of my unicorns that I actually altered from Katie Bean Creatives cow pattern. I used the same cow pattern, but I did one horn in the middle, and I just made the muzzle a little bit smaller, and then, you know, curly cues for the hair and tail, and that's all it took to make it a unicorn, and it looks really cute, I think. I took 4 of the Mary Makes mini dinos, and this time none of those sold. The first time I had made one, it sold before I even opened the market that day. So I was like, oh, I need to make a lot more of these. So I did make 4 more, and I still think they're super cute. But, you know, like I said, at the first market, there was really no foot traffic because of the weather. And the second one, I guess there just weren't any dinosaur fans. So I'm sure those still sell. They just didn't this time. Let's see, the next thing was I made a rainbow bee. He was on my rainbow TikTok recently, and he's still hanging out, but I'm sure he'll go at some point. My coffee cup sold. Actually, the lady that ran the market is she the owner? I think she's the owner of the coffee shop that also runs the speakeasy. She's super sweet, very sweet lady. She actually bought the coffee cup and said that it was almost the same color as her coffee cup for her business logo, and so I just thought that was so fun. The donut stayed behind. He didn't follow his coffee cup friend, but that's okay. I can make him another friend. I'm thinking I might make a bunch of little coffee cup keychains too. I thought that might be cute. Let's see. The big chunky bee that's just a regular black and yellow bee I took, and he's still with me. My emotional support manatee is still hanging out with me. I have one stress whale that I took that is still hanging out with me. I took 2 of the little Peeps bunnies, and I still have those. I took 5 of the Bobby the Bobble axolotl that you can get on Ribbler, that pattern. I still have all 5 of those. They tend to sell pretty well. They just didn't this time. I'm sure they'll sell. I made 7 of the big leggy froggies thing. I have been making them out of the Premier Just Chanel that you can get at Dollar Tree, and you can get it by the big cone on their website. And that makes a smaller sized frog. So then I made a bunch out of Sweet Snuggles. I call them my Angry Frog Boys. So this is the Sweet Snuggles size. The Premier one is like this big when you make it with the Just Chenille. It makes a big difference in the size. So I sold one of these guys. I've got 6 more. Leggy Froggies they always do well. That's Not Jaded's pattern. Just the tradition, the very common pattern. And all of these patterns that I mentioned, I have them listed by name now on a Google Docs that I'm linking in all of my videos. So if you ever want to find any of these patterns, I've got a list so that you can find them. Let's see. I brought 2 of the little Galaxy Unicorn backpack charm size keychains, which is the same unicorn as the one that I altered from Katie Being Creative, except for I made it with a thinner yarn, so it's like this big. I still have both of those. I still have 2 gummy bears that are still hanging out from Easter. I made 8 of the emotional support mushroom pattern. They're chunky mushroom boys is what they are. And I sold 4 of them. They were absolutely my MVP bestsellers of the show. So it's these guys. This is Sweet Snuggles light for the top, and I just use little fabric paint to do the dots because I just prefer that. And then I, sewed the little blush in. And the bottom is actually the Premier Just Chanel, because that's what I have the most of in white. And I held it double. So and it turned out, I think, really nicely. I like the density that I get with the Just Chanel when I hold it double, so I will probably be using that technique a lot more with the Just Chanel. Because I love the way it feels compared to a lot of other blanket yarns. It and the Sweet Snuggles light are honestly my 2 favorite for how it feels. It's just so much thinner and smaller, so it makes smaller things, but now I can make big chunky things with it. And the way I held it double, since I have it on a big cone, is I took the cone and my ball winder and I made a ball from the cone, and then I just pulled from both at the same time. Let me get my tablet back up here because it's got all my spreadsheet stuff on it. Okay, so next, after the emotional support mushrooms, I had a little chicken. It was the last one I had left over from my Easter stuff, and he sold. Chubby Dino, he's still hanging out, and he's a little guy this big. I've sold a lot of them at previous markets, and I think dinosaurs is just one of those things that you're going to find your dino fans, and then sometimes you're not going to have your dino fans. And it's probably the same with mushrooms. Sometimes you're going to see a bunch of your mushroom fans, and sometimes you're not going to see them. So, always good to have a bunch of both. My Rogelio duck head, it's a pattern on Ribbler called Rogelio the duck, and I started to make it, and I only made the head, and I don't know why. I think I closed it off when I wasn't supposed to, and I was like, oh, well, now I just have a head. So it's just the head. It's the head of a duck, and I'm like selling it as something that you can throw at somebody, basically. It's a stress relief duck head because you can throw it at whoever's causing you stress. But he's still hanging out. Pickles. I took 2 pickles. I still have 1 left, and this is not from a pattern. I just sat and made this while I was at the earlier market not doing anything. And this is Sweet Snuggles Light, and then I added blush to the cheek. So I still have 1 of these guys left. I sold 1. And like I said, no pattern. I literally I started making a circle, got it as wide as I wanted, started making it taller, added bobbles when I felt like. That's all there is to it. Pickles are easy. regular just Chanel size Lucky Froggies. I took 2, sold both. My little heart keychains, I still have 4 of those. Haven't sold those in quite a while. I was hoping they would go better since it was a Mother's Day weekend, but who knows? They'll sell eventually. My bunny keychain's still holding out. I made 2 mushroom keychains while I was sitting at the other market not doing anything, and both of them sold. And they were just real simple, spur of the moment, without a pattern. I just made it as I went. I sold a bar of soap, which is nice. Every time I sell one of those, I'm happy because I've made so much soap and have not sold hardly any of it. And at this point, I'm just like, I'm not making any more until I clear out some of this stuff. I sold 1 car freshie. I still have 5 of the little mini crochet bunny baskets, the ones that the pouch opens and closes, left over from Easter. I've discounted them down. I'm just trying to sell them off, but they're still hanging around. I'm probably going to have to get in there and throw away those jelly beans I had in there because those are kind of old now. I just thought about that. I may just be selling empty pouches now. Scrunchies, I sold 2 scrunchies. I always sell, 1 or 2 of those here and there. I didn't sell any stickers this time. Go figure. Usually a lot of people dig through the stickers, but that's cool. And then the last thing are the mystery boxes. And I pull one of those out to show. Here's the little mystery box. It's starting to come open. Little mystery box, just this, it's real pretty. I was selling these for $10. I just had them lined up on the table just like this. And it has a mystery plush and a sticker in it. Like this one. What does this one have in it? This one has the mini whale. So they're just little. Just little guys. Plus a sticker. And these were really popular. I had 12 of the boxes out on the table and I sold 6. People just like, they just love the idea of gambling for a plushie. So, and the funny thing was, I thought that would be like a big thing for kids, for little kids, because they love those like blind box things, or that was a big trend for a while, and I think they still, I think it still does pretty well. But it was at the nighttime market with the adults that they sold the best. There was even this one older gentleman who bought one for his wife, and he was like, "Here, happy Mother's Day," and he dropped the box in her lap. And she got an octopus, I think, when she opened it. But yeah, I made a bunch of that. They're all about that, this size, just like the little pocket things. I made some octos, some whales, some mice. I think I showed all of them in a video last time. And just tucked them in those little boxes. And I have another package with 12 more boxes, so when those go, I can throw these down on the table. So I got a backup set. Yeah, they did really well. So that was the market, and I am trying to get into another market this Thursday, farmer's market locally. Let me get some more coffee. Gotta have my morning coffee. And then a Saturday market with the same people in June, I think. June. Is it June 10th? It might be June 10th. But then after that, I don't know if I'm going to continue doing markets unless I can find an indoor one, because it gets really hot in Mississippi over the summertime. Like, it was 90 degrees last weekend. That's early summer. Throughout the middle of the summer, it's frequently up in the hundreds. And the humidity's 100%, and it's just miserable, and nobody wants to be outside unless it's very early morning or late in the evening after the sun's gone down. And then in the evening you're dealing with the mosquitoes, so it's not real pleasant here in the middle of the summer to do a lot of outdoor activities. Other states, they stay indoors and hibernate during the winter. We hibernate in the summer, or we live in the pool. But I don't have a pool, and I certainly can't sell things from a pool. So that may be the end of my markets for the summer, unless I can find a few indoor ones with air conditioning. But then I will be back to doing markets in September with the Hot Air Balloon Festival, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to be gearing up towards that one a lot over the summer, making to have a lot of stock for that one. I really want to do like $3,000 at that market. That's my goal. So in order to do $3,000, I am making $6,000 worth of stuff or more if I could manage it. So far, I think, I didn't tell you my totals. Let me pull my tablet up. I didn't tell you my total. So my total for the last weekend sale was $371, and it didn't cost me anything to set up. So that's $371, basically profit. I mean, when you take out a cost of material for each item and etc. That was a good market for 4 hours and no setup fee. So where was I going with that? Yeah, so when I take out that from, let me go back to my other sheet, to my current inventory sheet. Oh, I don't have that on my tablet. It's on my computer. And I think I was up to, I'm going to say $1,600 worth of stuff made on my other sheet. So I've been keeping my checklist of everything I've been making. So when I take that out, I'll have to replace that. But so I'm at about maybe $1,200-ish, I think, dollars towards that $6,000 goal. Now, of course, as long as I'm still doing markets and selling things, that number is going to be doing like this. It's going to have a hard time going up. But once the markets are done, I'm going to really, really push to hit that $6,000 or more if I can. I'm just going to make as much as I can. The last day or so, I've been mostly making kitchen scrubbies and face scrubbies and like more adult themed items. I feel like I do have a lot of like the plushies. Oh yeah, the other thing, I made a whole bunch of these stingrays and they didn't sell at all, which I was sad because I think they're really cute. But who knows? Another market, another day, another time for them. I feel like I have a lot of those for right now, so I want to build up some more of the adult side of things, and then after that build up some baby things. I want to get some of the loveys made that are basically just a head and then a flat like blanket body, and actually some baby clothing items, some hats, some diaper covers, maybe like cute sets that would look really good as like a photo thing for newborns and things like that. So I have a wider variety, so it's not just plushies. So I have, many things on offer. And then, cycle back around to plushies again. I'm not going to quit making plushies. I'm not going to say, oh, I have enough. Because I do want to make a bunch of bees. I know those do really well. I want to have a lot more mushrooms since those seem to be doing really well. I want to make a bunch of plushy, not exactly plushy, because I'll be using the like cotton and acrylic yarns, but the animals as keychains. I'm gonna make a bunch of those, and just have a nice wide variety of things. And I'm also working on trying to decide what my display is going to be like. So far I've been making do with 2 4-foot tables that I stick together into an 8-foot table, and I have 1 8-foot tablecloth that goes over them both, so you can't really tell that it's 2 tables. And all my big things I have laid out, and I have a few, I don't think I have them in these bins, but I have a few of these little wire baskets that are about this big. Oh, it's right here. It has my car freshies in it for right now, but I have these baskets that I turn over and use as stands to make a few things stand up taller than other things, and add some interest to the tables, and some height and some dimension, and then I have my big triangle thing, which you've seen in my TikTok clips and things, I'm sure, that has all the smaller things clipped to it. And I like that. It it's a good way for people to see it, but I feel like I could do more. I could do better. My mom had mentioned that she has some sort of shelving unit in the back of her garage. I haven't seen it yet. I need to go look at it. But they used to do vendor markets. My parents did. They sold T-shirts and that change color in the sun. And for a while, they were selling like kitchen gadgets and things like that. And my dad actually worked for a company selling the really high end, fancy cookware, like the pots and pans and things like that. Um, so he was doing that, and my mom would have another booth at the same market selling their other things. And they did that for a couple of years. They were like living out of a camper, traveling, just traveling to vendor events. So whatever she's talking about, I think is something they used at one of their shows. I just need to go look at it and see what it is. But maybe some kind of a shelving unit, where I can actually have things just like set on shelves, perhaps, instead of clipped to the grid wall. And maybe I'll turn the grid wall itself into a set of shelves to sit on the table and like stack things up higher so that people can actually pick up and look at it. Because on the wall, they can walk up, they can, kind of turn it and look at it a little bit on the wall, but they can't actually hold it. And I feel like they would get a better idea of what it is. And once you pick something up and you're like, this is so cute, it makes, if it's in your hand, you don't want to put it back at that point. If it's attached to a wall, you can, oh, that's cute. And then you walk on like it's an art piece and you just were enjoying a piece of art. So I'm rambling, but that's the idea. So I did have my banner up for this one. For the last couple of them, I've had my vinyl banner, which I really like. Has turned out really well. It did get so hot though in the morning market that the corners of my banner had these little plastic pieces like sandwiched onto the banner, glued on over it to protect the holes where you tie it up, and the glue had melted. The glue melted on those little plastic tabs, and they were starting to like slide off the corners. So I had to like try to smush them and slide them back on before the glue hardened up again. So I may have to find, I don't know, some iridescent duct tape or some fancy pretty duct tape or something like that and reinforce those corners again, because those plastic tabs are just coming off. The glue just is not holding up to this heat. But yeah, so that's my market. I've got some more markets coming up. As for more videos and things, I do want to start doing this more often. We're coming into summer, coming out of school, so I'm getting a little bit more free time to do things. I do want to do some more tutorials. I had mentioned that before, so I do want to do some like crochet along with me. I want to do here's how to make a basic face scrubby. Here's how to make a little bunny lovey. Just different things like that. Like obviously with my own patterns and things, not other people's patterns. And in doing that, I also want to get those patterns out of my head and on paper and then into PDFs and up on my Etsy so y'all can use them too if you want to. And I want to get my Etsy site fixed because I'm pretty new to this Etsy thing. I've watched a few videos. I watched a video recently on Crochet by Jenna's channel that was really good, that she gave some really just down-to-earth, easier to follow tips that I'm going to be working on implementing. I haven't done it yet because my kids use my computer all day for school. So I haven't had as much access to it, but school's almost over and I will be getting things done. So yeah, I want to get patterns up on Etsy for y'all. I want to get pattern tutorials on my channel for y'all. Do some more like crochet along with me, and I might even do some lives. I'm not sure. I've been thinking about it, but then I've also been thinking when I'm in the middle of a live and my kids just come barreling through the room and it's just a mess. But this is chaos. So that's probably just going to be what it is, and that we'll just live with it. But anyway, that's really all I had for today. Just a little bit of a market chat for you. I really enjoy making these videos. I hope y'all enjoy watching them. If you do, please, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more of them, and y'all have a great day. Bye.